Hi, my name is Zach Edelman, and I work for the University of North Carolina Institute for the Environment. We are a group of 20 plus environmental scientists, meteorologists, chemists, computer scientists, and we develop and apply regional air quality models, meteorology models, and emissions models for studying air pollution, climate, and weather. I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to work with Nestor Rojas of the National University of Colombia, UNAL, on multiple occasions in the past few years. Starting in June 2009, I was contacted by Nestor to participate in an air quality modeling summer course that he was organizing at UNAL in Bogota. I traveled there in June and participated in a lecture series and gave a lecture on regional air quality modeling. I also taught a course on emissions modeling with the sparse matrix operator kernel emissions or smoke model. Both the seminar series and the hands-on smoke class were very well attended by students, professors, professional researchers from not just Bogota, but from surrounding cities in Colombia. Following that course, Nestor came to a conference at the University of North Carolina that the group that I work for hosts every year. It's called the Community Modeling and Analysis System Center Conference. In October of 2009, Nestor came and presented work at that conference on source apportionment modeling for particulate matter, PM, in Bogota that he was conducting in his lab. It was very sophisticated work looking at using models to look at sources of particulate pollution in Bogota. The following year, one of the students in his lab came to the CMAS conference again and presented additional work on modeling that they were doing with the CHEMIR atmospheric chemistry and transport model. And then in 2011, Nestor and I participated together, collaborated on writing a proposal for the Secretaría Distrital de Ambiente, SDA, in Bogota, to use air quality models to research causes of pollution in Bogota, air pollution in Bogota. So through the course of these educational opportunities that I've worked with Nestor and his colleagues in his lab, the research that I've seen Nestor present, and also through the collaborative proposal process that we've been working on, I've seen Nestor demonstrate very high caliber technical expertise in atmospheric modeling. He's a great communicator, he's very easy to work with, and I welcome and hope for any future opportunities to work with Nestor in his lab and his colleagues in the future.
Mi nombre es Rodolfo Castillo, soy ingeniero químico de la Universidad Nacional de Colombia del año 87 y egresado del posgrado de Ingeniería Química del año 89, primera promoción. Solamente pues quiero compartir con ustedes mi experiencia personal como egresado de este magíster y pues quiero dar testimonio que gracias a él pude desarrollar mi carrera profesional de más de 20 años en el campo de investigación y desarrollo. Actualmente trabajo para una compañía en los Estados Unidos desde hace 11 años que lidera el proceso de elaboración de cerámicas dentales y gracias a mi experiencia y formación he podido llegar a trabajar en esta compañía. Gracias.
Este mensaje es para transmitir mi experiencia en colaboración en trabajo de investigación con el Dr. Néstor Rojas. Mi nombre es Laura Davidowski y soy investigadora de la Comisión Nacional de Energía Atómica y profesora en el Departamento de Ingeniería Química de la Universidad Nacional de Buenos Aires. Con el Dr. Rojas mantenemos contactos en colaboración en investigación en el campo del desarrollo de inventarios, tanto de gases de efecto invernadero como de contaminantes clásicos del aire, nos enfocamos a las megaciudades de Latinoamérica. El último año hemos trabajado en esta temática en el marco de un proyecto financiado por el Instituto Interamericano de Investigaciones para el Cambio Global, que se llama IAI, y en el que participamos junto con otros investigadores de Latinoamérica. En ese proyecto nos comprometimos a analizar la consistencia, la comparabilidad, la completitud, la transparencia, la precisión de los inventarios de Bogotá, de Medellín, de Lima, de San Pablo y de Buenos Aires. Como continuación de eso, hicimos análisis de escenarios futuros cuyo estudio nos encuentra actualmente ocupados, y ya que estamos escribiendo un trabajo con la idea de publicarlo y compartir estos resultados con la comunidad científica internacional. La verdad que la experiencia de trabajar con el doctor Rojas es muy buena, tanto desde el punto de vista de la solidez profesional del doctor Rojas como de su capacidad para interactuar con otro grupo de investigación.
Hello, my name is John Lin, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Atmospheric Sciences at the University of Utah. I am here to comment on Oscar Guerrero's visit to my group when I was teaching at the University of Waterloo in Canada. Oscar visited me for a period of about 4 months to learn how to use an atmospheric model called STILT, and to use that model to analyze aircraft measurements of methane in order to calculate the amount of methane emissions in Central and South America. And during those 4 months, Oscar learned a lot. He started off from knowing very little about the model to becoming able to run the model and to interpret the model accordingly. And it was a very positive experience. I was pretty impressed by Oscar and how much he was able to learn in the period of 4 months. For some of my own students, they might take 6 months or even a year to learn the same amount. So that is a great testament to Oscar's abilities. And as part of that work, we hope to have a manuscript soon that would be submitted to an international journal. So I believe the work is definitely of international publishable quality. So overall, I had a very positive experience hosting Oscar, and Oscar is a top student in the Department of Chemical and Environmental Engineering at the National University of Columbia, then I think that bodes very well for the program. It is of recognizable and international quality. So thank you very much, and that is all.
I'm Jean-Pierre Coriou. I'm a professor at the National School of Chemical Industries at Nancy. My domain of research is simulation, optimization, and process control. And my domain of teaching is about applied mathematics, numerical methods, optimization, statistics, and control. Have been knowing a first doctorate student from Colombia, from National University of Bogota, Oscar Suarez. I was co-director of his thesis, and my impression is that he worked very hard in Colombia, and when he stayed here in France, we had a very good contact, and we taught him about modeling, because modeling was a part that was missing the most in his background, and he had a very nice defense at the University of Bogota in 2011. And now I have a second doctorate student, Ivan Gilles, and Ivan is assistant professor at the National University of Bogota, and we decided about the subject of thesis, about the polymerization in emulsion and the control of the reactor with estimation of some states. And we have visited a plant at Bogota prefects, and we have decided to model the most advanced reactors that they have in this plant. And we are now building the model of the reactor, and we have, in my opinion, a good collaboration, and Ivan is progressing very well in modeling, and he is using MATLAB as the modeling tool. And later he will do the estimation and build a control law for his process, and maybe with some chance we will be able to implement that control law on the real process in the plant at Bogota. Otherwise, we have some students from Colombia, from different universities, and in particular the National University of Bogota, who come at NSIC and who are, for example, in the last year studies, the third year at NSIC, which corresponds to the fifth year at university. And in general, we are very satisfied with the level of the students of the university, of the National University of Bogota. Is it okay? Okay.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Coray Colina, profesor asociado del Departamento de Materiales y Ciencias e Ingeniería de la Universidad de Pensilvania Estatal en Estados Unidos. El departamento se encuentra y se ha encontrado por los últimos 20 años en el top 10 de materiales. Yo he tenido la fortuna de tener dos estudiantes de la Universidad Nacional que han trabajado con el profesor Jairo Perilla. María Mónica Castellanos actualmente es una estudiante en mi grupo. Ella se encuentra realizando experimentos y simulaciones moleculares en el área de agregación de proteínas concentradas. María Mónica es una excelente estudiante proveniente de la Nacional. Ella se graduó summa cum laude en el año 2010. Tuvo experiencia internacional que es bien valiosa a través del programa de la DAAD y del ICETEX de México, de Colombia, que le permitió ir a Alemania por un año. Además, se ganó el premio Ponce de León, que sé que es muy reconocido en Colombia, y eso es fruto, por supuesto, de ser parte de estudiante de la Nacional. Una muchacha muy trabajadora y muy contenta de tenerla acá. Igualmente tuve a Nicolás Moreno, que realizando su maestría, también estudiante de pregrado de la Nacional, y después realizó su maestría bajo la dirección del profesor Jairo Perilla. Yo tuve la fortuna de ser el co-advisor, el co-director de su tesis de maestría junto con el profesor Perilla. Nicolás también es un estudiante modelo, sé que ganó 1 o 2 premios, que en este momento lamentablemente no recuerdo el nombre, allá en Colombia. Realizó una maestría muy bien, estuvo 6 meses de visita por acá por la universidad y después fue capaz de continuar la parte de simulación molecular a distancia gracias a Skype meetings que tuvimos seguido, pero con una gran capacidad de trabajo, una gran organización, una gran tenacidad. Después de graduarse, estamos en este momento escribiendo un artículo internacional bajo su nombre, en el cual él será el primer autor gracias al trabajo que ha realizado. Él se encuentra actualmente realizando sus estudios de PhD. En resumen, las interacciones que he tenido con la Universidad Nacional han sido exitosas y favorables para los dos campus, y las experiencias de María Mónica Castellano y Nicolás Moreno demuestran eso. Quedo a sus órdenes si desean mayor información adicional. Nuevamente, mi nombre es Coray Colina, profesor asociado, Corning Faculty Fellow del Departamento de Materiales, de Ciencias de los Materiales e Ingeniería en la Universidad Estatal de Pensilvania, en Estados Unidos, de Penn State University. Gracias.
This is David Hodge from the Department of Chemical Engineering and Materials Science at Michigan State University, and I'm here to talk about 2 students I had from the National University of Columbia Department of Chemical and Environmental Engineering last summer in, this would be the summer of 2012, as summer students working in my laboratory. These 2 students were Carlos Castillo and Fernando Peregrino. They were both master's students from the chemical engineering department. And a little bit about what they did. The project they were working on involved the reduction of inhibition of hydroxycinnamic acids derived from biomass pretreatment using simultaneous liquid-liquid extraction and fermentation. So basically with this project, this is working with trying to ferment biomass, lignocellulosic biomass hydrolysates and reducing the inhibition by toxins in these hydrolysates. And so one of these classes of inhibitors are the hydroxycinnamic acids, which are present in grasses. These are ferulic acid and parachimeric acid. So what Carlos and Fernando were trying to do were develop methods for liquid-liquid extraction, simultaneous liquid-liquid extraction and fermentation, in addition to some work with Tim Whitehead on expressing phenolic acid decarboxylases in yeast and E. coli so that they could decarboxylate these to a product that could be more easily extracted. And so basically their work involves cell culture work, development of a medium throughput procedure for estimating growth kinetics for model strains of Saccharomyces cerevisiae yeast and E. coli, and also performing liquid-liquid extractions and doing simultaneous liquid-liquid extractions and fermentation and estimating growth rates and reduction of inhibition of growth rates. And so they had some interesting findings from the work that they did during the summer. Some of these results included finding that ferulic acid was more toxic to Saccharomyces than the decarboxylation product, 4-vinyl glycol, and that the 4-vinyl glycol was more toxic to E. coli, the E. coli strain used. Other interesting results they found were that simultaneous liquid-liquid extraction and fermentation using either decanol or tetradecane reduced the toxicity of both the cinnamic acid and this decarboxylation product, enhancing the specific growth rate. And so this work was important because it's building the groundwork for future work that we're hopefully going to put together for a grant proposal and also potentially publication from the results that they generated over the summer. My overall interpretation or my overall assessment of the students that we received from the National University of Columbia are very positive. So what I could say about these students is they're very high quality students. They're very hardworking in terms of background knowledge on cell culture work and fermentation. I found them to be very knowledgeable, very productive, and also very resourceful in their lab from previous experience, from their previous graduate and undergraduate research experience. Yes, so overall I would give them very, very high and positive recommendation. Thank you.